are going to go over a recent find of mine. This is a Perfection 770 kerosene heater. It's not in the greatest of shape, but the reason I made this video was had some issues when I was trying to put it back in working order, and I wanted to share those with you. I couldn't find an all-encompassing resource to address the 3 or 4 issues that I had when I was trying to bring it back to life. So hopefully this video can help you out. The tools you're going to need for this, standard pair of needle nose pliers, flathead screwdriver, can of WD-40. Really, you'll see the use for this shortly. A wire brush, and I've already replaced it inside, but this is a 500 series wick. You'll find that for most models that is the right wick. There's a couple good websites out there. I got mine off of Amazon. So let's take a look here. Just going to lift this latch. I'm doing all this one-handed, so bear with me. Alright, and inside here we see the oil tank. There's a little handle on mine. Just lift that right out. And we're going to take this over to the table here. Now, when I first started messing with mine, this did not move, hardly at all. This is what raises your wick. Alright, this is your flame spreader. You should just be able to twist it right off. It just kind of sits in there. Big thing as far as maintenance here, all the holes right here, as well as all the holes on this. This is where your wire brush comes into play. You want to make sure that those are clear of any ash, charred up gunk, residue that accumulates over time, because this is what makes sure you have a nice even flame. If that starts getting clogged up, you'll get a lot of smoke. So, looking down in here, the next difficulty that I was faced with was this piece right here. After I cleaned it with the wire brush, I know that I was supposed to be able to get it off, and I could not. So right now, you'll see that mine actually twists right off. That's what's supposed to happen. Mine didn't. So what I wound up doing was I applied some WD-40 to it right along this seam here, all the way around. I let it sit for a little while. Then I took my flathead screwdriver and I started working it right in there, just gently, maybe a 1/4 inch all the way around, prying up. I discovered that there was an old dry rotted gasket in there, which after reading found out that it wasn't really necessary anyway. So after letting it sit, got most of the gasket pieces out of there, some more WD-40, and with a little elbow grease, voila, it comes right off. Again, you want to make sure, just like your flame spreader, that all these holes are clean, and a wire brush can do that without much of a problem. Okay, so now looking down in here, as I say, my wick razor at the time did not turn at all. Now, if that doesn't turn for you, do not try to force it. You'll be in a world of hurt if you break this. And I don't know how well you can see, but inside there is a little bitty wheel with cogs on it. It actually, there's a metal piece on the wick here, and I don't know if I can raise it up enough to show. Yes. The cog wheels sit right inside these little grooves, and that's what bites onto your wick and raises it, lowers it, gives you a bigger or lesser flame. Now, as I said, I have already replaced the wick, but I kind of want to show you how I troubleshooted this. Getting the wick out was a real pain, and I found out that over time, there's stuff blowing around out here, over time, the wick actually becomes attached to the metal that it's sitting next to, especially as it burns low. So all I did, and this was recommended from a buddy of mine, was I took a standard kitchen fillet knife, what have you, and I put it in there all the way to the bottom. And I could feel it actually crunching through stuff. And I just worked that around. I don't want to do this because it's a new wick, but I worked it all the way around. And then I used my needle nose pliers, and I started pulling up on the wick all the way around. And I found that after doing that for a little while, it took me a good little bit, that my wick razor here started working, and I was able to lift the old wick out. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate for you, but as far as replacing the new wick, it's going to come as you see here. It actually came, I just took it out, it came looking somewhat burnt like this. And the other side has 4 little flaps of wick. Those actually, I just took a flathead screwdriver and I pushed them down into the fuel tank here, so they get soaked. Now, This is not a fiberglass wick, this is a standard cloth wick, so you want to make sure that it soaks about 15 minutes before you go ahead and try to light this. And the last one I want to address is the fuel tank itself. When I opened mine, it was very, very rusty and not conducive to holding fuel. It would contaminate my fuel if I tried to use it like that. So I'd say a cup and a half of just some regular old sand and a ball bearing or two. Marbles will work if you don't have a ball bearing. And just shake that around in there. What you're essentially doing is sandblasting the inside of the fuel tank. Now make sure that your tank is in good working condition all the way around as you're doing that. You don't want a fuel tank that can't hold fuel. But just dump that mess out when you're done, and you have a good inside clean fuel tank, and your kerosene will burn for a good long while. That's really all I have. Just wanted to share some of my issues that I had with this, as well as my solutions with you guys. Feel free to like, comment, share. If you have a better idea for troubleshooting any of this, feel free to add it in the comment section. I'll see you next time, interwebs.